Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here yet again, and it's Saturday. You see, I misspoke a couple of days ago because obviously we had the ancient gear deck in between. Um, but it's finally time for the more competitive Monarch build, and a couple of things about it. First, you'll see that I'm rocking yellow sleeves. That's because while this is my deck, this is not my deck. One of my friends, he retired from the game a few years back, more than a few now, and I was lucky enough to get a couple of his last decks. So this is like a show of friendship and everything. I've just been kind of maintaining them and keeping them with me almost at all times. So when I do roll up to the card shop, it's not just whatever deck I'm playing that week. His decks are still untouched or buffed. This way they're not considered part of my collection. A lot of insight that you probably don't need to know, but I know somebody's going to be like, yellow sleeves, what's going on? So for the most part, this has remained untouched because for no reason have I felt the need to upgrade this. And as far as test hands for like this last one where we played the Mega Monarchs and even this one's test hands should actually still be up. I believe this is still 100% the same deck as it was like last year when I did this, when Pantheism went up to 3. So we're just going to review this real quick just to kind of get this back into like the, for everybody who's new to the channel who doesn't want to dig through a bunch of backlog. And again, it's just kind of a cool shout out. Doug, if you're watching, hi, buddy. You know who you are. And let's get it. So the deck, the way I played it then and still, 3 copies of Adaya, because good, which means 3 copies of Ether, because best, and 3 copies of Eidos, because yes, and 3 copies of Erebus, because also yes. And the best part about this, for anybody looking to pick this up, these are all in the structure deck. Should you be able to find the Monarch structure deck still online, this is all in there. So that's fantastic. We do run the single Karaz, and again, this guy's a little harder to find, but it's not impossible. So there's that. I do play the single Majesty's Fiend because once you achieve like a field lock, the effect of monster effects cannot be activated. Also translates to like hand traps and stuff, which is fantastic. And then 2 copies Vanity's Fiend, just because again, it's super. It needed to be here. It was our deck master, and it's just relevant in any form of monarchs that you play. Going over to the spells, it's going to be 2 copies domain because again, when I'm playing competitively, I find that I want my zones to be a little more streamlined. Single Foolish Burial in order to start my loops and such. The single 1-for-1 because again, you'll see. 3 Pantheism because again, you need to maximize this anytime that you're able to play it. The single Reinforcement of the Army because it's awesome. Again, we got some warriors in here. The double Return because return is good. The triple Tenacity because you need to tutor and pick for the situation. The 3 Stormforths because again, Stormforth puts in all of, if not most of the work. The single Escalation because again, competitively, it's super searchable. There's no harm in just playing it at 1. 3 Solemn Judgments. And again, we're running the judgments over the strikes here because it's about absolutely saying no. And with the powerful spells and traps that do exist, you need to be able to say no to more than just summoning and monster effects. So Solemn Judgment, definitely. 2 Monarchs Erupt, because again, it is searchable, and 2 of the Prime Monarch. Again, 40 card build, no extra deck. And in this case, no side deck. Things that you could throw in for side if you try to be competitive. Anything that you normally would play that you didn't. So like the Feather Duster, the Raigekis, the Monster Reborn could be there. Triple Talents Tactics, Pankratops, Artifact Lancia. Whatever you really want can be in the side. Just don't play an extra deck and play well. I am going to go over the effects, but just very quickly. And no, there will not be any test hands. So just give me a moment, do the screenshot, take the notes, whatever you guys want, and I'll be back and we'll go through this. All right, just real quick. And actually, before we get through this, let me apologize because I just realized I didn't thank you guys for stopping by. Because, again, some of you only stop by for the deck list, and that is 100% the reason why I'm here. Some of you already know all of the effects because, number one, you're smart cookies, and two, you've been doing this a while. So I'd like to keep the videos a little shorter for you if that is the case. So again, thank you for stopping by. I hope that you enjoy this as much as I enjoy playing this on the regular. And you guys do the things. If you want to support the channel, subscribe, like, comment, share it with your friends. All of the things, my guys and gals and duelists. I should just say duelists. It's ultra inclusive. So do that, my duelist friends. And just have a great day. Everybody else, let's go ahead. Let's get those effects out of the way. So, Edaya, number 1 star. So there's your 1 for 1. 2, it's a warrior. So there's your reinforcement of the army. And 3, let's talk about why you need to start with this card and why I put so much emphasis on that. When it is normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 monster with 8 by 1,000 from deck and defense, except same name. So this is going to be our Eidos. Or if you guys are playing Mega Monarchs, it's like any one of them. Just do that too. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck the remainder of this turn. Good, great. We didn't pack one. You guys are probably tired of hearing me say that. It's fine. This will be the last time. If this is sent to the graveyard, you could target one of your banished Monarch spell traps and add it to your hand. Each effect once per turn. And right there, I think you might understand the Foolish Burial as well now. Foolish Burial can do this just to give me back my Pantheism should I need to dig into the deck with another draw 2. So again, Edaya, very good card. Ether, the Heavenly. You could tribute this by tributing 1 tribute summon monster, just like a Mega Monarch would. If this is tribute summoned, you could send 2 Monarch spell traps with different names from the hand and or deck to the graveyard. If you do special summon 1 2400 or more attack, 1,000 defense from decks, that's Monarch or Mega Monarch, but return it to the hand during the end phase. During your opponent's main phase, if this is in your hand, banish a Monarch spell trap from your graveyard immediately after this resolves. Tribute summon this card. This is a quick effect. And again, if this was printed now, it would probably start with quick effect. You may do this. So that's fine, first off. Second, I love that it's actually a 000. And third, this is one of the reasons why Karaz is in our deck. Because we'll be able to spam Karaz, get the special summon without having to extend anything really, and then go ahead and destroy cards and start banking on things. So again, very cool, and I love all the interplay. Eidos, when is normal or special summon. And again, remember, it's going to get special summoned by our character Edaya. During the main phase this turn, you can tribute summon 1 monster in addition to your normal summoner set. So again, if you did the normal summon here, it's normal to special to get your extra normal summon. So again, it totally feeds the loop. You can banish this from your graveyard. Target a monster with 8 by 1,000 in the graveyard, except same name, special summon in defense. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck the remainder of the turn you do this. You can only use this effect once per turn. Again, what we could do is we could Foolish Burial him to banish him to go ahead and do all of the things and play another copy. So don't worry, this loop is consistent, and it just depends on what your end game is based on the field situation. So very cool stuff. Erebus, another darn paragraph. Again, like a Mega Monarch, you may tribute summon this by tributing 1 tribute summoned monster. If this card is tribute summoned, you can send 2 Monarch spell traps with different names from the hand and or deck to the graveyard. If you do, shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand at random, graveyard, or their side of the field into the deck. You're going to choose. So if they only have 1 card in hand and you want to force the hand trap effect, go ahead, do that. If they have 1 card in the back row that you don't like, or the monster that you can't handle with straight up battle, go ahead, deal with it. Or there's a card in the graveyard that might be less effective if it wasn't in the graveyard. Do that as well. If this card is in the graveyard, you can discard 1 Monarch spell trap, then target 1 monster in your graveyard with 2,400 attack or 1,000 defense, and then add that to your hand. And again, I love the bit of recursion. Karaz, again, Normal special summon, pop up to 2 cards on the field. Each card destroyed, the controller draws a card. May not attack the turn it is normal or special summoned. But again, with Ether, we can cycle this. We can get this effect multiple times while only using the one. The Majesty's Fiend, inadvertently searchable through every Monarch card because it is 24 by 1,000. This is why we're only running the one. Cannot be special summoned and monster effects cannot be activated. If you are fearing the hand traps and you want to play through, you could do this. This plus the domain plus the erupt equals no effects anyway. Just because like this would be another version of the Monarch's erupt. But with the domain also shuts down the opponent's extra deck. And then Vanity's Fiend, you guys know this one, shuts down just every special summoning method there is. Domain, a lot of stuff. We talked about this every deck so far this week. We're going to skip it today. Foolish lets you send a monster from deck to discard. And again, this is going to be big. 1 for 1 lets us get the Edaya out immediately. As long as we can send one monster card from our hand to the discard pile. And again, as long as it's like Erebus or something, we still have multiple plays. And again, if you guys are going to play the Monster Reborn, that opens up to just that right there as well. The Pantheism. Send a Monarch spell trap from the hand to the graveyard to draw 2. Banish this from the graveyard. Reveal 3 Monarch spell traps in the deck. Opponent chooses 1. And then you shuffle the rest back. Add that 1 to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, but it's fine. Because generally what I'll do is I'll draw. And then I will show my opponent 3 of the same spell card. So I'm guaranteed the spell I want. Generally my Tenacity or my Stormforth. On occasion it'll be like 2 Erupts and a Domain. Just always the worst choices for the opponent. Reinforcement of the army. Again, if we take a look, Edaya is a warrior. I want to say Eidos. No, Eidos was a spellcaster. So it's just here for the Edaya. Add that level 4 lower warrior from the deck to the hand. Very good. Return when we tribute summon a monster. We are able to add a Monarch, Mega Monarch to the hand or Majesty's... the Majesty card, the Ruler, no, Fiend, Majesty's Fiend. And again, you'll just be able to do that because it matches stats. Same thing with Tenacity. We can activate Tenacity by showing that as well. Otherwise, it's one monster with Monarch or Mega Monarch stats. Add a Monarch spell trap from deck to hand. Must be a different name, cannot be Tenacity. And also, we can only do one of these per turn. Stormforth allows us to tribute one of our opponent's monsters for the tribute summon of our monster. It's quick play, so it goes well with Escalation, allowing us to activate its effect during the opponent's main phase or battle phase. And then after the effect is activated and resolves, then we tribute summon a monster through this effect, which again, we can tribute one of our own monsters, or we can go ahead and chain the Stormforth to this, and then go ahead and use our opponent's monster. The Judgment is going to cost half your life. Negate the activation of a spell trap, normal summon, flip summon, special summon, and destroy the card. So again, we needed to say an absolute no because this is more competitive. So just kind of go with it. And then, of course, there's the Erupt. Activate while you have no cards in your extra deck. And while you control a tribute summon monster, negate the effect of all face-up monsters on the field while those monsters are face-up on the field, except tribute summoned monsters. During the end phase, if you do not control any, then this card is going to go to the graveyard. And again, 2, because it is super searchable the way we're playing. And the Prime Monarch, something that we could have played, but we chose not to in previous builds this week. The effect is, once per turn, target 2 Monarch spell traps in the graveyard, shuffle them back into the deck, draw 1. If this is in the graveyard, you can banish one other Monarch spell trap in the graveyard. Special summon this card in defense mode as a normal monster. Fairy reversed stats. Now the attack is 1,000. The defense is 24. Not treated as a trap card during this, which is important because that's kind of crazy. And you can only use this effect once per turn. So again, this does allow us to do some different things, and in a pinch allows itself to become a tribute while still allowing us to cycle cards and draw. So again, this is my friend Doug's major Monarch build. And again, I still play this to this day. It's very good to keep on me. Uh, and just thanks for stopping by, everybody. So we'll see you a little bit later. We do still have our tech analysis for the week, and we'll get that handled. And then you guys can start the weekend off really good. Go do something that you enjoy and have a great one. See you later, my friends.